Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Grand Prix Series. We are in Canada, Montreal, Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve for the final round of the iRacing Grand Prix Series. Alex Simpson here, along with Conrad Venter. Hello, buddy. Welcome. Well, week number 12. We've made it all the way to the end, and well, it's a tough old track and a lot of overtaking I expect to see today. Those DRS zones do not come into effect in yesterday's World Championship race. Every time I got DRS past, I was cursing in my cockpit. So be a lot of people struggling to try and stay in that DRS zone of the car ahead. As soon as you drop out of it, it becomes very, very tricky. You were just saying high strength of field today as well.
Yeah, it shows that anybody who's got any interest in making up some spots in the championship today is in attendance, and it's just a notch under 4,800. So big points to be had here today, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. Obviously, you've got to decide how much downforce you're going to run around here. Something I saw in the Formula Renaults, where some of the guys opted for high downforce levels to get through these chicanes and cornery bits, and then other guys low wing for the straights.
Yeah, there's definitely some places in there. You've got Diego Oliveira, Marty Patella, Riley Preston, so all World Championship drivers, of course. So yeah, right now Marty and Diego sit in first and second in qualifying. Obviously another lap to go. Oh no, it's only 2 laps, isn't it? So that's it, they're done. So it's even yeah, and Riley just goes and puts it on pole position as well with an absolute storming lap. So absolutely nailed it out there. So yeah, impressive. Ficarra just going into fourth. While we let everybody just finish up there, let's take a quick look at the championship standing and see where we're at, because it is particularly close, and this high SOF makes it very, very important for drivers. There's a good chance of some position changes and some drop weeks thrown out because of this high SOF. So Slaven Yatsenko leads the championship at the moment, 1,677 points. Diego Oliveira is second on 1,665. Although we're kind of not really counting Diego because he is a pro driver. This is more the Class A series. Ficarra in third place, 1,645. So about 32 points back from Yatsenko. And then you've got Daniel Wensin there on 1,641, so just 4 points further back. Giuseppe Ragusa, another 25 points further back from him. And his teammate is, well, his teammate's about 70 points. So really the top 5, depending on what the likes of Ragusa and Wensin's drop week is like at the moment, I think all have a stab at winning this championship in this race right here. So could be interesting if the pro guys obviously take up the top 3 spots, then the major points probably won't be on the offing. So I think all the Class A guys are going to hope that they get into each other right now.
Yeah, we've seen Riley Preston is a very consistent driver, very quick driver. So I think around Silverstone where he took the win around the last corner. At the moment, Yatsenko's got to be a little bit concerned though, only sitting down in 9th place, and he's got Ficarra in front of him in 7th, and Vensing is in 8th as well. So he's got a bit of work to do once this race gets underway.
Yeah, I think Slaven's just coming over to set his lap now. Let's see what he does. Oh, that was just well, I hope that was just an out lap. Yeah, let's just stay with him, see what he's doing, because he hasn't set a time yet. There's a few other people who haven't as well. Zaitsev hasn't, Domingo hasn't, so
it's a very easy track to
as well. Matt Farrow back in the car as well. We haven't seen him all season long, so good to see him back. Obviously season 1 he was kicking around a lot.
Yeah, it's a really good field we've got here. It's most of the people in here we have seen before, so and just with the track as well. Like I said, there's a few people who hasn't set lap times, who's only done 1 lap, and it's really easy to get it wrong around here, especially on those exits out of some of the chicanes where you really come close to the wall. So it's easy just to pick up a 0x and completely ruin a lap.
Yeah, Yetsenko pulls the car to a standstill then, so it looks like he is pretty much done. 9th place. There's a few people out there right now. Zaitsev, I don't know if he's going to improve on his time or whether he's just doing some, just doing some laps out there just to get used to race trim. Diego Oliveira out there as well. Must be doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, we've seen this a few times in previous weeks where once qualifying is done, they just get on their way and do some laps, practice starts, and so forth, just get themselves ready for the race.
Well, we're all done. Do you want to take us through the grid for the final round?
Yeah, we've got our sole Australian, Riley Preston, in first place on pole. Diego Oliveira is in second. Giuseppe Ragusa in third, with Marty Piatella in fourth. Zoran Janic, very good qualifying for him, in fifth place. Ricardo Ozoka in sixth place. Ficarra in seventh, and Daniel Bensing in eighth. Slava Yatsenko in ninth place. Joining him on the fifth row is Vasily Zaitsev. Fabrizio Gobbi in 11th, Manuel Domingo in 12th place, Matt Farrow in 13th, with Istvan Balak in 14th place, Ruslan Sabitov in 15th, 16th place is Andre Eisenlaw, and then we've got Kliber Toffoli in 17th.
Yeah, reasonable grid for this one. This is going to be fun. I think actually we're going to see a very close race. A few of the drivers who were kicking about in this top split the last few weeks, obviously back down in split 2, so be interesting to see how they get along as well. I think there's a few people trying to improve their point situation as well, so let's not count those out too. I think there's a few people that could break into the top 10 if they get a good finish over there. Not sure what the strength of field of that one is at the moment.
It'll be nice to get a nice clean race in here today. Obviously, it's going to be the last big one for the season, and one of the last. I've got no doubt the next race or a couple hereafter will go official as well. But I doubt any of them will have as big a strength of field rating as this one will do.
Here we go then. Those revs are starting to build for the final round here. The iRacing Grand Prix Series, we are lights out. It's a good start from everybody. Someone in the back got an absolute awesome one, and who didn't was Riley Preston down into second place. That could be third if Marty gets alongside him coming out of turn 2. Sure, the guys are going to be heavily on the ERS button right now, and Marty settles into third place. And someone off, and in the first chicane there, I don't know who that was. They just went flying straight on.
Well, let's see if I'll have a quick look back, see if I can find out who that was and what happened there exactly.
It seems like everybody's going at a reasonable pace, so I'm not sure. Ricardo got some problems. Oh, he did have a connection issue last week, didn't he? So could be something to do with that. But yeah, so Diego Oliveira leads the way from Riley Preston, Marty Patella, Giuseppe Ragusa, Ricardo in fifth. Then we've got Zoran Daniel Wensin, Zaitsev in 8th, Domingo 9th, and Yatsenko all the way down in 10th place. Here comes Preston. It's got the slipstream using that using that ERS. No DRS, of course, on lap 1. Straight through. Oh, gets so close to the wall of champions as well as he exits the corner.
Right, and that person you saw on the first lap was Ficarra on the first chicane. Just overcooked it into the braking zone a little bit and took to the grass to avoid going into the wall or running into any cars in front of him. He's down in 16th. He's down 9 places from where he started.
Not a good start for him. Also a driver trying to go for this championship. Really what we're looking at then is the likes of Ragusa and Wensing, see if they can jump themselves up there. Of course, Oliveira will want the points just so that he can get that number 1 spot regardless, as he's done a full season.
Yeah, and the disaster has struck for Ficarra once again. This time he loses on the exit of that first chicane. Manages to avoid the walls once again, but yeah, now he's in last place and his tyres are going to be cooked as well.
Side-by-side action going into the hairpin as well. It looked like Istvan was having a quick look on Fabrizio Gobbi there, couldn't quite pull anything off at the moment. Of course, still no DRS in effect, so everybody just using the slipstream the best they can. The slipstream here in the McLaren P4 30 is pretty weak, I have to say, so don't suspect we'll see too much position changing until we hit lap 3, which the leader's just started now.
And Marty has taken back that second position at the moment. Looks like it. Yeah, he's past Oliveira as well.
If we can get a look of that, that must have been into the chicane. Might not be far enough back. Oh no, it wasn't. It was actually coming out. Poor exit for Oliveira coming out of the final chicane, and Marty just uses just the momentum that he had coming off of there and just straight through and up and into second place. The Coanda car was very, very quick yesterday, so I think we're going to see a good race between Riley and Marty with this one.
Yeah, I didn't catch all of yesterday's race, but it seemed like you had a little battle with a driver from Coanda at one point.
Yeah, myself and well, me and Marty had a fair few battles actually on track. It was a lot of fun, and also Rocco as well. So I think yeah, I wasn't particularly comfortable here, and that's not a track that I can push 100% in the race. And yeah, unfortunately, I went backwards more than forwards. Not the best of race for me, but awesome for the team with picking up another podium with Graham Carroll.
Yeah, it's nice to see some of the guys. Obviously, Sebastian picking up podium at Interlagos, and it's nice to see guys like Peter Berryman and Graham Carroll getting in there as well and scoring really good finishes as the season goes on.
Yeah, poor old Peter crashed out with 2 laps to go, cooked his tyres. What can happen? As a team, we struggle a little bit with that, but yeah, we know what the problem was. So we're looking forward to Imola, which is up next.
And speaking of tyres, 47 laps here today. I guess we're gonna start seeing people pitting from around lap 20, 21, 22, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. What are we looking at for sort of ambient temperature and track temperature out there right now?
Ambient temperatures 24 degrees at the moment, with the track temperature sitting at 40, so not very high, but yeah,
it's still pretty much in the range where we've seen people doing the stops. As we see a little battle going on here, and this is Ricciardo losing a place to Daniel Wensin. Wensin sweeps around in that McLaren, liveried McLaren.
Old school liveried McLaren.
Yeah. And Zoran Jonic also went through there as well. It was a mistake really from Ricciardo coming out of the hairpin. Just had no momentum whatsoever, and yeah, both drivers just had the DRS on him, and he was sit and duck.
Riley Preston setting the fastest lap of the race last time round with 1 minute 16.5. Just coming back to the tyres again, see these guys filtering through that second chicane at the moment, and that's one of the corners where I found in the past this is probably one of the most uncomfortable tracks to drive if you don't feel you've got a sufficient amount of grip coming from the car. And that might be something that tempts a lot of the drivers today, just to make that pit stop and not tempt with trying to go the whole way on one set of tyres.
Yeah, 47 laps is a long way here, and the rears take a pounding. So many real hard acceleration zones, and I think yeah, there'll be a lot of drivers that will jump in. Unlike other tracks as well, overtaking is quite easy here when the driver ahead of you hasn't got that DRS. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion if you can get up behind them coming out of the hairpin that you can get through. So I think there's no real sort of disadvantage in doing that. You will slice through the traffic really quickly with the extra traction that you're going to have from the fresh rubber. So definitely both strategies are very much on here.
Yeah, I'd love to see how somebody who decides to go for a zero stopper negotiates the latter part of the race. Like I say, Montreal, the previous layouts I used to love. They've tightened up some of the chicanes with how the track is built now, and it's a track I hate to drive, but it's something that so often yields good results just by keeping it in one piece, really.
Having a little look further back, there's a good little battle starting to form up. We've got Manuel Domingo, Ruslan Sabatov and Fabrizio Gobbi here having a good little battle. These three trying to edge back up towards Yatsenko if they can, but I think he's just got a little advantage over them right now, although makes a little mistake coming out of the hairpin. But yeah, good little battle here. Let's just see how the DRS plays out. I think Sabatov must have a chance, surely. As we can see, some change of position. Oh, close as they go through the final chicane. Poor exit for Gobbi. Surely going to see a position change here. It doesn't quite happen. Both drivers just deploying all the battery power they possibly can there, and popping open the DRS and just maintain their positions.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Fabrizio did well to actually make the chicane just before the Wall of Champions there. I think it was Marty Piatella yesterday tried to stick one around the outside going into that corner. Couldn't make the corner, had to slow down. I think ultimately that's what caused you to get past him.
Yeah, I think he had that, and to be honest, he had another coming together with, I think it was Robin Friskup just ahead of me as well, and actually disqualified him as well because he had built up his incident points, I believe. I might be completely wrong, and he can correct me if I'm not by that. But yeah, that gift wrapped that position for me.
I was rather amazed to see him get back on track. I was fully expecting him to slow down a lot more than he did. And that battle you had with him, I think, raged on until you got to the first chicane on the next lap. So I mean, yeah, you can get overtaken, and it's possibly not all is lost if you do.
Looking at
looking really strong at the moment.
Sabatov and Domingo here. These guys are getting closer. I think. Sorry, it's not Sabatov, it's Gobbi and Domingo. Fabrizio definitely looks like he's got the pace over Manuel at the moment. Keep an eye on this little one, see if it works out. There's a few other little battles starting to form up a bit further up, so we'll switch our attention if they get a little bit closer.
Isvan Balog is just creeping up on them as well, very slowly but surely. Let's have a look and see what his last lap time was. Yeah, Gobbi did a 17.6, Sabatov did an 18.3, Isvan Balog did an 18.2, so just creeping up a little bit. Meantime, Ficaro's trying to make his way back as well. He's back up into 15th place, but he's going to need a miracle to get anything out of this race.
Here we go then, 0.3 of a second back surely. Fabrizio's going to get a chance. This time, popped open that DRS, pulls out from the slipstream, side by side into the braking zone. Domingo tried to defend, but just nothing he can do. Just to rub salt into the wound, Fabrizio's going to pop open his DRS again now and just pull away down that straight.
That's like somebody showing you a dirty sign.
Yeah.
So I just got the DRS to pass you, now I'm getting it again, just to pull a further gap on you. It's like a kick in the gut.
Daniel Wensin closing in on Zoran Jonic here. He's bringing Ricciardo with him. These three have been pretty close. Jonic not too far behind Giuseppe Ragusa as well. So really we got the fight for Class A from 4th place back, and then the pro guys just having their own little battle. Right now, Marty Patilla slowly reeling back in Riley Preston. Marty some 0.4 of a second quicker that last lap. So bit of a slip up from Riley. What I can remember from the race yesterday as well is Marty was able to hold onto his tyres so well. Great pace over the long run, so I think we're going to see more a challenge sort of later on in the race, although that gap has come down to about a second, so keep an eye on that. We might have to switch our attention.
Pitella's just going faster and faster. Another fastest lap of the race there by him with a 1:16.5. 5:34, just slightly quicker than the lap time Preston said earlier in the race. But I mean, they are 9 laps in, just on their 10th lap, and he's still going strong on those tyres. But like you say, it seems like one that can keep hold of the tyres better than most.
Take a little look then at our leaders. They're in the same shot now, well within the DRS zone. Surely Marty has got an opportunity in the next lap or two. think he's just going to use this lap basically to close in as much as he possibly can. Late braking into the hairpin. See the drive out. Can see the gap that they've built up over Diego right now. Doesn't have the pace of these two. Good drive out for Riley, but open that DRS. Comes Marty back within half a second already, so it's going to go through this final chicane. It's going to just overshot it a little bit there. The ideal line is to kiss the inside curb on the right, not the outside, and you can see he actually lost a lot of time, 1 second back. Pops open the DRS, closes up a little bit, but yeah, definitely a mistake. Just I think that's just a case of first lap in a while that he's had that DRS pop open, and probably used a little bit of the ERS battery power to get a bit more speed, and unfortunately...
Oh, Preston is
Riley's
sideways.
around! Mistake for Preston, feeling the pressure, and he pulls it off the track, retires the car straight away. Good thinking from him, but let's take a little replay back of that and see exactly what happened. I heard the contact with the wall, but we're so often used to hearing that with you know, the Australian drivers. Just they're obviously net code slightly different. You just see them, you hear them tag it often, but well, I'm not sure what to say there. It didn't even look like he hit the wall hard, but yeah, very weird. Not good, and he's out of the race. I think that's, I have to say, I think that's 2 for 2. I think that's 2 races he's done and 2 races retired on, isn't it? I can't remember where he finished yesterday.
Yeah, he retired back to the pits and left the session very quickly. So you can imagine there's a level of frustration right now that that few of us will understand. I mean, there was clear daylight from my perspective between his tire and the wall, and then it just all of a sudden seemed to snap on him. That is very unfortunate. I mean, and from the lead as well, it'll be very frustrated.
Just to give a bit of a recap, what we've got on here. So this is iRacing.com. This is the iRacing Grand Prix Series right now, and there's been questions asked whether or not there's mandatory pit stops or not, and there isn't in this series. It's more down to the tyre wear, if anything, and we've seen all season long people be able to make it on no stops. Some drivers doing it on 1 stop, and there's very little between the strategies. If you basically pit in the right window, you can work your way back up the cars that much quicker on fresher rubber. So I think we've seen drivers eke out the no-stop strategy on slightly cooler track conditions. The tyres seem to last a little bit better. The thermal degradation is the main thing that really kicks in, and here it is quite hot, 40 degrees, so I think we'll see some try and eke it out and some will pit, and definitely a 1-stop has got an opportunity to work here.
Yeah, the tyres, of course, have provided some very exciting races for us this season. Watching the guys on the fresh tyres drive their way through the field, just to come hound a couple of guys at the front that hasn't made a pit stop.
Ricardo running very wide in turn 1, just manages to get it stopped for turn 2. Now what this does open up, of course, is Ragusa sits in 3rd place now, and he's got Zoran Jonic, who, you know, is after a quick you know, a jump up in the table as well, sorry. He's got a good opportunity to make into the sort of like the top 5 with a good finish, so he'll want to try and get Ragusa as quickly as he can. But of course, you've got Wensin sat in 5th place. Now with a 4,800 strength of build, you have to think a 3rd place would be something like 230 odd points there or thereabouts. So good opportunity to potentially take the win in this championship, as he has a little look on Zoran. Zoran got out of shape, has to defend into the hairpin, runs a little bit wide, does Daniel, because of the line, going to come under pressure from Ricardo now as well. From attack to defence in the blink of an eye, he's very much going to be under pressure. He's going to have to deploy a lot of battery. Goes defensive.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're onto the grass. Wow, big from that was well, it was only 1 car that went out there. I'm not really sure what happened with Ricardo there. I thought he got the car back pointing forward, and all of a sudden Wensin having to defend from Farrow. Farrow around the outside, oh, and gets tagged. And fortunate for him, actually, he gets tagged a 2nd time, which makes the car, just corrects the car, pointing back forward, but down into 6th place. What has happened just there for Daniel Wensin? So Bit of aggressive defending. Did he defend a bit late there? Did he need to
Well,
move over a bit earlier? Let's take a quick look at that one back.
Well, they were coming down the back straight, and I think Ricardo was looking up the inside. Vincent just sort of kept squeezing him, a little bit like Rosberg in Spain. He got on the grass, went the other way, and yeah, by that time Vincent had moved back onto the racing line, and he took evasive action. If I was Ricardo, I'd feel a little bit hard done by there.
Jumping on board with Ricardo just to watch this back. So, I mean, we could see here that he got the drive out. They're both drivers with the DRS. Daniel moves over. Yeah, like you say, I think Ricardo had committed himself, and the problem Ricardo had is he still had his DRS open when he was trying to make trying to get back online, and absolutely killed him. So got back across to the left of the track. I think he would have been all right. I don't think he hit the wall that hard the first time. I think he would have been able to continue. We know how hardy these cars are actually this season. They've been mighty impressive.
Yeah, maybe just in his case, a little bit too much happening at once. You got the DRS open, and you're trying to keep it out of the wall, plus still possibly pull the overtake. That'll look great on some highlights footage, but ultimately ending up in the wall and into the pit lane. That's a retirement for Ricardo as well.
Well, certainly one to watch moving on season 3. I think last week was the first race that he had done, and he was mixing it quite well there. One thing I think that the drivers will point out is he needs to sort his connection out, because he is a bit all over the place, dropping in and out, and it's not easy for drivers to race around him. So hopefully he'll be back in season 3. We'll be commentating on him mixing it up there, and with a bit more of a stable connection.
Yeah, you've got a couple of very exciting drivers as Vincent. He looks like he just had to check up a little bit there, which hampered his progress a little bit as they go into turn 1, and then he misses the apex completely.
Yeah, no damage on that McLaren, it would appear, so should be able to fight back. Zoran not too far ahead. They have lost quite a bit of ground to Ragusa with all their battling though, so. But yeah, good to see Matt Farrow back in the series. We haven't seen him for a little while. The livery's looking quite nice on their new car.
Yeah, last time I can recall seeing him, I think was I might get it completely wrong, but I dare to say was it Nürburgring? Did we have Nürburgring this season?
I think you might be right actually. So I think he did the first couple of races, didn't he? Oh, just locked up the rear brakes going into the hairpin. That's going to surely open the door for Wenson. Goes a little bit defensive. Surely Daniel going to be straight through. Pop open that DRS. There it goes. Pulls out. Matt doesn't even defend the inside. There's just no point. Look at that. Straight through, even before the braking zone. Thank you very much. Job done. Oh, runs a little bit deep in the final chicane, and he got a bit close, I think, did Daniel, to the Wall of Champions there. Closer than he would have wanted anyway.
Yeah, that sausage curve is absolutely lethal. If you take too much of it, that's probably why I'll never amount to anything more than a social iRacer, because I just don't have the guts to go over those curves lap after lap after lap. I hate crashing too much.
Fabrizio Gobbi now having a little look on our championship leader. Not the race Slaven Yatsenko would have wanted, of course. He needed big points in this one to hold on to it. His only hope is that most of the big points get taken up from the drivers who are not really competing. But I have to say, with Oliveira in second, Ragusa in third, it's not looking great for him to hold on to this championship lead.
Yeah, well, I won't say it's all lost for him. Either way, he's already seen. We've seen the leader, Riley Preston. He's out. Ricardo has left. They were all in front of him. So with 17 laps into the race, still a lot that can happen.
Yeah, exactly that. A top 5 finish you would think would be a good clutch of points, and if he's got a weak drop round, that will improve that. So he may still yet hold on to it. So, but I do think he's going to need a couple of other places.
Yeah, and that sort of adds a little bit of pressure in the race as well, because you know what the standings are, and you can see the people who's chasing you right in front of you, and you're trying to possibly work out in your head what you need to do to keep hold of your lead. And it's just another little thing to distract you from the task at hand, really.
Having a very, very quick look at our leader out front by 10.5 seconds now. Looking comfortable, still running in the mid-16s. Very comfortable for him right now. But I've got to switch back because Ficarra is trying to line up Esteban for a move into the second chicane even. And a poor exit from Esteban there. Just tagged the sausage curb and the car jumped up and Ficarra is around. Tough race for him. I wonder if Ficarra's going to pit or try and eke it out. He's been one of the drivers that's always gone for this no-stop strategy. I think he's got nothing to lose by jumping into the pits, you know, this time and trying to do it on the fresh rubber, because you can make positions here.
Ballack might want to jump into the pits at some point or another as well. He's just got all squarely out of the last chicane. We've had our first visit to the pit lane. Fabricio Gobbi, he is into the pits. It always it's such a deceiving pit lane. It feels like it should be a lot shorter than it is, but I mean the run into your pit stall is very, very long.
Pretty easy to miss the box as well, and I tell you what, it's quite a treacherous pit in here as well, especially if the driver ahead of you doesn't pit, because you can enter that pit lane at some rate of knots if the track's clear, but if it's not, and I've seen people jink out and try and swoop by and things like that in the braking zone and go into pits, so let's keep an eye out for that. It'll be interesting. We're definitely into the phase where the pit window is open, so lap 20, we can, I think, like I say, a couple of more laps, we'll be right in the middle of it.
It looks like Gobbi didn't have the best of stops, just under 8 seconds for his stop.
Had he got 8 seconds? That is long. Was that a wing change or something going on there? Because that seems, you know, we normally see those 2.6 to 3 second pit stops, and yeah, that's a long one. Too short to be a penalty.
Yeah, he did have a front wing change. I initially thought it couldn't have been 7.8 seconds change the front wing. That is pretty swift, I have to admit.
Yeah, absolutely. Just again looking at Matt Farrow, still trying to hold on to Daniel Wenson here. Wenson pulling away. I think he's just about pulled out of the DRS zone. Trying desperately to close back up to Zoran.
Fabricio Gobbi is he's the little test subject out there at the moment. The only guy to have made a pit stop. His fastest lap to date is 1 minute 17.5. Zoran Janic into the pits as well. I'm sure a couple of people will have a look at Gobbi, see what effect the fresh tires has on his lap times.
Yeah, just trying to work out what's going on. So yeah, Zoran in early. I think that makes sense for Zoran. You know, he's got track position right now, pitting in early. Going to do him no harm. 4.3 second stop for him. Yeah, I genuinely think that this is a good call for him as well. We've seen him try and do the no stop before and it hasn't worked. Hot track temperatures today. Get in, get out, use that undercut and try and build up another couple of seconds lead, because he was being closed back down again by Wensin. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we saw Zoran last week. He was one of the guys that tried to pull a nose stop, and by his own admission after the race, it was a mistake that he should have come in and gotten the fresh tires. Rectifying that mistake this week, pretty early on.
Vicara as well, closing in on the back of Domingo now.
Venting in as well.
Daniel just covering off, I think. Zoran really knew that he needed to do that.
What was the gap between them two before the pit stops take place?
It was about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, something like that. It was just Daniel was just outside the DRS zone. Vicara very, very close to Domingo now.
Venting's out of the pits, and the gap is roughly about the same.
Yeah, 1.3 seconds according to my live timing screen. But yeah, so like you say, he hasn't really lost too much. And I tell you what, I have noticed that especially around here as well, it takes about a lap to get the pressures in the right zone, so you can really get the most out of it. So you can afford to come in the very next lap, and you don't lose a great deal. And which we've just seen there with Wensim. But if you leave it 2 laps, then the time just crazy how much quicker the car is.
Just watching Andre Eisenlohr coming out of the pits after his pit stop. He cut that line, that pit exit line, a little bit, straddling it towards the end of the pit exit. He might be coming back in for a penalty.
That'd be unfortunate for him. Side by side, looks like Vicara completes the overtake. We just caught the tail end of it. Let's go back and just see how that one shaped up, because right now that does move him up into 6th place, and he's only 4.5 seconds behind Yatsenko. But yeah, so just use the DRS to close in, and it looks like a tiny little mistake from Domingo coming out of the chicane. Not the greatest exit, and Vicara just uses that DRS, battery power, no real defense of the inside line, and completes the overtake. Has to go around the outside in turn 2 and cuts the nose off of Domingo. But yeah, job well done, and up to 6th place as it is for now. Will he pit though? This is the thing.
I would think that a pit stop is a no-brainer around here. You have to get those fresh tires. He's really pushing really hard after those early mistakes he made, and it's not going to do the tires any favors whatsoever. So rather to keep up the momentum for the rest of the race, come in, get fresh tires, and get on with it instead of hanging on to it at the end of the race with 47 lap old tires.
We're just hearing as well from Ricardo in the chat afterwards that he did pick up a little bit of suspension damage from that first bit of contact with the wall, with the incident with Daniel, and what shot him over to the left-hand side of the circuit. So did his best to obviously avoid taking anyone with him, which was yeah, good driving on his part. Sabatov, what did I think? Sabatov was into the pits. No, it was Toffoli, sorry, into the pits as well. That's the second.
Marty is in as well.
Yeah, I'm not surprised from Marty, because he built up a 14-second lead. It just made sense to jump into the pits, and he's got nothing to lose. He's half a pit stop clear. So if Diego tries to stay out there, the closure speed that he's going to have is going to be about 1.5 seconds a lap. He's going to close up and just breeze straight past him. So let's see. Let's hope that Diego tries to hold it out for the 47 laps. It'll be great to watch, because we've had it all season long, the split strategies, and yeah, potential again. Now I think a driver who certainly will be Giuseppe Ragusa, but Ragusa is just only there up the road, so it's not going to take too long for Marty to close that gap up.
Also, just looking back at Vicara, it's going to be a tough one for him. He's up into 5th place at the moment. If he pits now, he'll come out in 13th place, a couple of seconds behind Ruslan Sabitov. If he had pitted on the previous lap, he might have jumped Sabitov in the pits. It was that close, but with Sabitov on the fresh tyres, he's already closed enough just to get past Vicara. Vicara, hopefully not leaving it too late Or making a wrong strategy call here.
Well, I think he's all in, isn't he? I said this last time when he pitted quite late, but I know how the tyres fall off as well, so yeah, he's going to have to nurse them if he's going to keep it. Just having a look, I mean, you got Matt Farrer in 10th place. He's only, what is he? He's about 15 seconds back. He's in. And he's got damage on the front of that car as well. Now, we've seen this here at Montreal, where sometimes the stream shows us damage and there's not actually any there. So we'll keep an eye and see if it's just a quick stop. But if he has to have an 8-second pit stop as well, then, well, that'll be a disaster for him.
Yeah, he had those 2 spins in the first chicane. I don't remember him hitting anything. We'll see how long the stop is.
Long one. It had damage. 8 seconds. It's more than that. Oh dear. 11.2
just keeps going.
seconds.
I'll send the car around to Gobby's garage afterwards. Nick a few of those engineers or mechanics that stuck that front wing on Gobby's car, because they were 3 seconds quicker.
Yeah, crazy. Comes out right behind Sabatov. So had they not had to change the wing, the frustrating thing is he was going quick enough that he didn't need to change the wing. The wing was not really causing him any real problems, but it's just unfortunate. It's just one of the things with the sim. It just auto fixes the front wing, and there needs to be an option, I think, to sort of say, well, no, I don't want to change it. Leave it on. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it might be a suggestion to put forward to iRacing. We've seen it in real life numerous times, especially with Red Bull. Guys come in, end wing missing on the car, and they just send it out again exactly the way it is.
We're getting some idea on the chat exactly what we're looking at with the point situation for this. A win could be around about 270 points, second 250, 240 for third, 220 ish for fourth, and sort of 210, 215 for fifth. Sorry. So sure, there's plenty of points up for grabs here. I think looking at the points difference, going to be a big deal for Wenson if he can get past the likes of. I mean, there's a lot of drivers still haven't pitted, so I think he'll get by them. He's in the train right now, stuck behind Yonage, but I think he needs to clear Yonage. Istvan here as well. Get up and get past the likes of Yetsenko and Domingo, who haven't pitted yet, and that might just do what he needs. As Yonage just breezes past Istvan, fresh tyres, just get him done, but Wenson couldn't quite do it. Makes a little mistake going into the chicane, but he's going to use that DRS to get straight past as well. And yeah, so Istvan down 2 places. Obviously going for this no-stop strategy is Istvan to try and make up some track position. I'm not sure it's going to work. There's a lot of people fairly close behind him. He's going to end up about where he was. We're on board as well. Ficarra just breezing back by Ruslan Sabatov. I say breezing, they're side by side going into the chicane. Sabatov has to bail, and yeah, he'll get a slowdown penalty for that, which is a bit of a disaster. It's almost worth completely getting out of it because he's lost 2-3 seconds there all of a sudden.
Yeah, Ficarra's looked pretty quick since he came out of the pits. He was all over the back of Sabatov there, going into the hairpin, nearly running into the back of Sabatov as they came out of it. That should have been a big enough sign for Sabatov just to give up the position once Ficarra got next to him.
We've got 19 laps to go here as well. The gap for the lead is down to 4 seconds basically. So it's not going to take too long for Marty to breeze up on there. He is lapping 1.6 seconds a lap faster at the moment, so comfortably has the advantage right now.
I will endeavour to go through some of the results from early in the season, see if I can find a race with a similar strength of field. So we could possibly get an idea of what points will be awarded come the end of this race.
Scott already did that. That's the 270 for first, 250, 240, 230, 220, something like that. Roughly, we're looking at. So there's definitely enough points on the up for grabs here for drivers to make this change. So Yatsenko trying to hold on his no-stop strategy in 4th place right now. If he could hold on to that position, I have to say he's got a great opportunity to win this championship. But if he can't, you can see him just disappearing up the road right now. If he can't, then it's going to be very difficult. Diego Oliveira. That's not the fastest lap of the race, unfortunately. Just a little bit of a glitch on our timing screen. Marty Patella just put a 1:16.1 in, and that is the fastest lap of the race. Here comes Zoran on Domingo, round the outside. We'll have the inside for the next turn. Every time Wensin seems to get close to Zoran, there's a car ahead just giving Zoran that DRS. And Wensin has to wait a lap or so to get past as well.
Zoran really is putting in a very strong drive today. I think it's one of the drivers from the academy that we've seen. He came into this season really wanting to improve, and he's done exactly just that. And from the start of the season to what we're seeing right here, right now, it's two completely different drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. And just saw Wensin as well move up and past Domingo there as well. Crazy thing is, he lost 1.5 seconds on 1.8 seconds actually on Zoran, just that half a lap. So again, he's going to have to do the hard work and close in on the back of the Apex Academy car there, and see if he can get overtake done. Although what we need to do is take a quick look at the front, and we have a battle on our hands. I don't think it's going to be a battle that's going to last very long. Oliveira's car looks completely undrivable as he goes through that section, and Marty just goes, well, thanks, but yeah, I'll see you later.
I'm wondering right now if Oliveira is not just looking at other likes of Yatsenko, who's 2 places behind him, and yeah, he's going to do whatever Yatsenko does for the remainder of this race. If Yatsenko decides for a late pit stop, well, then obviously Oliveira just carries on, but he's just covering him off at the moment. As long as he ends in front of him, he's giving himself a chance to jump Yatsenko in the standings.
Oliveira is 21.5 seconds ahead of Yatsenko. He could afford to pit right now. He'll come out 9 seconds behind on tyres that are going to be 1.5 seconds a lap faster. To me, it's a no-brainer. You've not won this race now. Marty's through and clear, but second place is, well, to lock in his sort of the championship position, it's pretty easily done. I think he would close up to Ragusa and pass him as well. That would be a bit more of a challenge, I have to say.
Oh, you know, sometimes we make some very strange decisions in the heat of the moment. It's like something you're concentrating, or you work it out, or you rationalize something so much in your head, even though it's the wrong decision. But hopefully it works out the way he does by the end of the race.
Bad lap for Zoran Jonic, 1:25. We're just looking at our replay now to figure out exactly what happened. It's put him down into 8th place. Loses it coming out of the second chicane. Just about gets the car stopped before he hit the Onco there, and has a little reverse out and just gets under the way. But that's knocked him all the way down to 8th place. So Wensin up to 5th place. So we're looking at, like I said, about 215 points for him right now. But importantly, he's still behind Yatsenko. That is a 5.6 second gap. I think for Wensin to beat Yatsenko in this championship, now he doesn't need to beat him in this race, but he's going to need about 2 or 3 cars between them, just so that any points gain that he does is going to be substantial enough.
Yeah, obviously we don't know what their worst rounds are to drop for the season. I mean, surely it can't possibly be that one of them has got such a bad round to drop that even ending up somewhere behind one of your competitors can elevate you to beat them in the standings.
You wouldn't have thought so, not at this point. There's a battle going on. Oh, well, we caught the tail end of it. And, well, I think that was between, was that Istvan and Matt Farrow? They just absolutely hammered each other into turn 1. Let's take a quick look at that one back.
Ooh, yeah.
Farrow gets the run out of the chicane, of course, on the fresh rubber. He has at a pit, Istvan has not. And he's wide, and Istvan tries to hold the inside line, just loses the back end going in there, so those tyres absolutely cooked. And yeah, just tags Farrow there. Farrow pretty much an innocent victim there, it's fair to say. And he's managed to carry on. Well, no, he hasn't actually. If we stay with this, I think we're going to see him pull up and retire, unfortunately for Matt.
Yeah, you got to feel sorry there for him.
Oh, you can see he's struggling big time with the car, and that's it. He's had enough.
Did everything he needed to do and to get that position. Unfortunately, the fight was just a little bit too hard, and yeah, it ended up with damage on his car. We got Istvan still going after that. Yeah, it looks like he's still. That's the most frustrating thing sometimes about racing. You have an accident, the guy that crashes into you is the one that manages to keep going.
Yeah, a lot of damage on the front of Istvan's car as well, but you're right, no major suspension issues, so he's able to continue without too much of a problem. Right, let's take a quick look at the front, what's going on with strategies and what's not out there. Right now we've got Marty Patella, he's pitted, he is lapping 1.4 seconds faster than P2 right now, so unless he makes a mistake, you have to think that the Coanda driver has got this one wrapped up. Diego Oliveira, second place, 5.2 seconds back, has not pitted, lapping 1 minute 17.7 the last time by. Let's make sure we're live as well, as I just watched the replay. Behind him you got Ragusa, 7.3 seconds back, and he is on a 17.8. Yatsenko doing exactly the same lap times in 4th place. Wensin is doing, actually it was an 18.1 for Yatsenko that lap. Wensin 17.0, not the best of laps for him, it's fair to say. So I think 17.0, he's only closing in about 7/8 tenths of a second. Now, 7/8 tenths of a second now, Conrad, what's it going to be like in 10 laps time when those tyres are cooked for those ones that have tried to do a no-stop? That's when it gets interesting, and we never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we've made this mistake plenty of times in the past, where we expect the tires to sort of go backwards in terms of lap time to a certain point and then plateau out, and it doesn't. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So what's 7 tenths now might well turn into 1.5, 2 seconds by the end of the race.
Yeah, he's closing on Yatsenko. That's what he needs. Obviously, as far as, you know, Raw Championship concerns, he has to outscore Yatsenko. He really would want drivers, you know, I'd be a bit gutted that Zoran's had his problems, because that puts Zoran about 8 or 9 seconds back from him. He would also want Zoran to get by Yatsenko as well, I think. But taking a look, I can't see that he's going to catch up to the likes of Ragusa. It's 14.5 seconds up the road from Yatsenko right now, so unless like the tyres absolutely completely fall off, okay, it looks like there's only going to be about 1 place between these two, so it's going to make it interesting in the championship standings, but I don't think it's going to change anything.
Hold on to your hats. I mean, 14.5 seconds. I think you've just laid down the challenge there for someone. We might just see a cracking last lap.
16.8 though, last lap. For him, and 18.3 for Yatsenko. So that this gap's going to close down really quickly, and I think we dare say we would see Wensin pass him probably this lap, maybe next lap. I think it's going to be next lap. He's just outside the DRS when it comes to the detection zone there, so he's well in there now, but I don't think he'll get it this lap. Let's have a look. Nope. So, but next lap he certainly will do.
I don't think Vensing is even. He doesn't have the DRS. Oh, was Vensing outside the detection zone? on
Yeah,
that previous lap.
the detection zone is coming out of the second chicane, you know, the one with the bridge, and
Oh,
it's
right,
the
yes.
same one for the detection zone after the final chicane as well. So if you're in for that one, you get it in both. So it's a bit weird, but it's a long way away from where you actually deploy it. So, but it's right on his tail now. He'll want to make quick work of him as well. Can't afford to be held up. 18.2 last lap, and he was actually slightly held up that lap because back into the 17s. Diego Oliveira's lap times are falling off as well, yet Cinco's actually the quickest of the no-stop drivers out there right now, so he is working his way back towards them, but quite big margins, so I can't think that he's going to close up in just these 10 laps.
Oh, Venting was that gap 0.4 of a second?
It doesn't seem to be closing as quick as I thought he would do. Does right towards the end. It's going to have better on the brakes. Important just to not miss your braking zone. I'm guessing Yatsenko saved up some battery there. Deployed his ERS, so you can see it again. So yeah, this is not at all what Daniel wanted. We would have hoped to have just breezed straight by there. Yatsenko perhaps being a little bit savvy, saving all of his battery power to deploy it down the straights to try and hold on to this. He knows how important it is that if at least he's not going to be able to hold on to the position, that he stops him from catching the drivers ahead.
Janic has managed to make his way past Domingo as well, so he's gained another place.
10 seconds behind these guys as well, and lapping quick enough to close in enough, I think, as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't think Yasenko's going to have the battery power to defend much, and makes a mistake, runs in a little bit deep. Surely Daniel's going to have the DRS when he comes out of this corner no matter what. Doesn't want to get squeezed off of the circuit. These guys have had a little run in already once this season. I think if it was Nürburgring, wasn't it? Oh, much better exit off the corner. Look at the traction from the fresh rubber. Deploys the DRS, and well, Yatsenko might try and defend it, but it's not going to matter.
It's right there. You could see the difference between the older and the newer tires. Just that drive that Venting got off the corner was so much better.
The thing is, it absolutely cost them big time as well. We've only got 9 laps to go, and that was an 18.6 for Wenstin. So that gap hasn't come down at all to Ragusa. And like I say, I think he's going to need 3rd place if he's going to have a chance at winning this championship. He needs like a 30-point advantage. So, oh, it's on. That's what he's got to do. 14 seconds in 9 laps. Now, I know that seems insane, but I tell you, it absolutely is not. We have seen it already this season. So, Ragusa's just going to have to hold on to his tyres. I'll tell you, a driver who is struggling out there big time as well is Diego Oliveira, a 19.1 last lap. So he's going to have 8 laps of just limping around at this sort of pace. That is 2 seconds a lap slower right now as well, and actually a second a lap slower than Giuseppe behind him as well. Although he picked up the pace a little bit that lap.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple of people. Istvan Balog, he hasn't pitted. His last lap was a 19.0. Like you mentioned, Oliveira, he dipped into the 19s, but he's back into the, he did an 18.1 last time round. And Yatsenko with a 19.3 as well. So, yeah, last 8 laps. I think we're going to see most of those no stoppers is going to get very close and into the 19s.
Bicara's flying out there as well, so looking at the drivers ahead of him, I think he's got an opportunity maybe to make it up to 9th or 8th place. I don't know, actually. Do you know what? It might just be 10th because Gobi and Zaitsev have both pitted ahead of him, so can't see it changing too much. Maybe just, like I say, the 1 spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, those two mistakes he made right on lap 1 and 2 has cost him dearly for this race, and that's most certainly an opportunity lost.
Side by side with Istvan. Istvan has to sort of concede the place there, but he's up and past Fabrizio, closing in on Zaitsev as well. So there's a lot of little individual battles going out there, and some that are going to form up. Just going to take a look. Have we had a lap where Winston's been clear? Well, we have actually. Last lap for Ragusa, an 18.3, and it was a 16.9. So 1.4 seconds was the was how much it closed down that lap. He's going to need 1.5 to make this work, I think. Even more so than that. 18.2 versus a 16 point. Yeah, let me just bring this up. We can see what the drivers are doing behind as well.
Yeah, 16.7 for Vensing, the fastest lap of his race.
Yeah, impressive. The only driver who's going quicker than him right now is Marty Patella, and that's only by 0.2 of a second. So that just goes to show how much pace Wensing's got right now. And poor qualifying did not help him at all. And he's still sort of trying to work his way through right now. Keep an eye on the sector times of these.
It's nice to hear that for a change, that we can keep an eye on sector times. We're so used to
the fastest lap of the racing, just to must have heard what I said.
Well, he got the arrows of a back marker somewhere.
Oh, nice. Little 16-0 for him. Just see, just appears that it just shows us this, two sectors. So Ragusa does an 18.0, does pick up the pace a little bit. What does Wensing do? 16.8, so only 1.2 seconds that time. Not enough at the moment, gap's down to 10 seconds. Gonna need a little bit more. We've got a 3-car battle here as well. Domingo, who hasn't pitted, trying to hold on to 7th place. Fabrizio trying to get by him. Sorry, that was Zaitsev, and he's got Fabrizio behind him now, trying to work the outside line for turn 2. Never easy to try and pull that one off.
Yeah, it's a hopeless case. We've seen that if you're going to go for the no stopper, then you need to have a clean race, clear space in front of you for most of the way. But once these guys on the fresh tires catches up to you, there's almost no point in putting up a fight. You might as well just let them go and damage limitation from there on in.
Now, what's interesting is also is Zoran Jonic is closing in pretty rapidly also on Yatsenko. There's only 6.5 seconds between them. As here goes Fabrizio through. Sorry, we pulled away from that just as he completed the overtake. But yeah, so Zoran could have a big effect to the championship here as well, because if he can catch and pass Yatsenko, well, that's going to make it a little bit easier for Wensing to score the points he needs to score to get this championship. Of course, it all affects, all drop rounds come into play and everything else like that. So we're not going to know straight away at the end of this race. We're going to have to calculate everything. Hopefully, the iRacing table updates quick enough, and we can bring the champion on air.
I was looking, Ragusa doing an 18.3 on that last lap with compared to Vensing's 16.8, another 1.5 seconds out of his lead. Jonic managed to catch Yatsenko by a second.
Yeah, gap is down to 8.3 seconds now, so it's it's going to be close. All the time, Ragusa's closing in on Diego Oliveira as well. Oliveira, that gap's come down to sort of 6.5 seconds. There's not enough time for Wensing to even get there, close there, unless Oliveira makes a mistake. So good race from Diego. I think he's just looking at the sort of the time. I think he lost what, 14.5 seconds was it that he was when Marty pitted? So you consider he's 22 seconds now. By the time we finish this race, because he's losing 2 seconds a lap, he's going to be about 30 seconds back, which just goes to show, actually, the difference in the strategies is nothing. You know, you can just decide which one you want to go for, and do it. You've got to work at it. Excuse me. If you want a pit stop, you'd have to overtake a few cars, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah, and I suppose it depends on how you like the car as well. If you're willing to put up with a misbehaving car in the second half of the race, then zero stopper, go for it. Personally, I don't like to fight the car. It's not my kind of thing. So I'll be the first one probably into the pits in situations like this.
Fire's really starting to feel now as well for everybody. So those low 18s have started to become mid 18s. Ragusa's holding on pretty well. Good drive from him. We're just watching Zaitsev and Gobby have a little battle. I think if we can get a run this time. He has a little look down into the hairpin. There was no need to shove it in there. He just tags the rear end of Zaitsev. I think he's just ruined any chance he's got of getting by there as well. Absolutely pointless overtake. Sorry, Fabrizio, but you had the DRS. He was, you were just going to breeze past down that straight. Just wait. One corner. You had the overtake wrapped up. Done. Makes no sense.
Yeah, heat of the moment stuff. There's that whole argument from if there's a gap, then we know how the rest of it goes.
I'm sorry, that was just an excuse to hit him off the track. Anyone who thinks otherwise, just get out now.
Gobby's showing good pace at the moment, but it's not a smart move there. Vensing has closed the gap. It's just about 6 seconds. He's gonna have to pull the rabbit out of the hat in order to catch Ragusa. Ragusa did a 17.8 on that last lap.
Yeah, that's
so
impressive.
He's picked up a little bit of pace.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen, I don't think. It is going to be close, but there's not going to be anything there. Diego Oliveira, 19.1. He is really struggling. But, Ragusa's not. 18.3 this time for Ragusa, and 16.8 for Wensin. So, yeah, they're both about 5 seconds apart at the moment.
There's somebody who's got a much better chance of possibly making up the place is Zoran Jonic in 6th place. He's still catching Yatsenko by a second a lap. The gap between them two is just about 3 seconds.
Yeah, and he's got about 2.5 laps as well to doing it. Well, 2 laps to do it now, so. Teller must be coming around very shortly to start his final lap. There indeed he is.
It's been a very impressive drive by Marty indeed.
I think we'd have had a really good race on our hands had Riley, not made his little mistake. But unfortunately he did, and Marty just said, well, thank you very much, and he did the right call, just pitted. He knew he didn't need to push it or anything like that, so. 4.3 seconds is the gap from Oliveira to Ragusa. 4.5 seconds, not a great lap from Wensin. Only caught the 1 second up that lap, so it's going to get it to within 3, I think, but that's about it. So close, but not enough. You have to think though that Wensin had his issues, and it set him back a few seconds. Without those, and a better qualifying, I do think P2 could have been on for him.
Yeah, qualifying down in 8th place really cost him, but here we see Marty Piatella coming across the line to take the win. Very impressive drive from him, beating the rest of the field by just over 31 seconds, man in a class of 1.
Yeah, impressive, very impressive indeed.
I think it's worth looking back a little bit, see where Jonic is. He hasn't done enough, I think, to catch up with Yatsenko.
We can see these three. Oh, Wensin's got problems. Oh, big problems. As in, he's run out of fuel problems. Oh, there is. Oh dear, here comes Yatsenko as well. Any chance he had is just disappeared.
Jonic.
Straight through. Jonic is going to go by as well.
Where's
disaster for Daniel. Just burnt up too much fuel. He will maybe make it to the finish line, will he? Oh, what's going on?
Is he going to go defensive?
He gets a little shove. That's a bit of extra momentum that he needs, I think.
No, Gobby's going to have him as well.
Oh dear. And
Says Domingo.
Ficarra maybe.
And Ficarra.
Yep.
Everybody's going to have him.
Oh, poor Daniel. Well, it was
gutting.
It was good, but yeah. He probably couldn't push. He was giving it everything, just hoping he had enough, but just tugged to a finish. He must have just lost it coming out of lost drive coming out of the final hairpin there. So Well,
Again, that must be a very frustrated driver in that car at the moment, running out one straight from the end, and then after 47 laps of effort, trying to get yourself up there just to see it all disappear in the space of one straight, one chicane, and a start-finish straight.
nothing you can do though. Once you realise you're not going to make it, you sort, went all or nothing with the position. The only way he was going to win the championship was to try and close in on Giuseppe. Just sitting there, it just wasn't going to happen. So you can see why he pushed it to the absolute limits there.
Yeah,
Well,
it's something we've seen in previous weeks. Drivers miscalculating fuel. And they're not even these guys, and not even the pro drivers are immune to it. We've seen it happen in the WCS as well.
yeah, absolutely.
So was that.
Yeah. Let's the absolute best of the best doing it as well. So let's take us through the final results, if you wouldn't mind, Conrad.
Yeah, we've got Marty Piatella started down in fourth place, finishing first with a very good drive from him. Diego Oliveira in second place, Giuseppe Ragusa in third, with Slavia Yatsenko making up quite a few places from ninth place to finish in fourth. Zoran Janic in fifth place, Vasily Zaitsev in sixth, Fabrizio Gobi in seventh, and Manuel Domingo in eighth place. Massimiliano Ficara finishing in ninth. Daniel Venting limping home into 10th place, with Istvan Balok in 11th. Rosalind Sabitov in 12th place. Kleber Toffoli from the back of the grid finishing in 13th. Andre Eisenlohr had a few troubles in his race, finishing in 14th place. And we had a couple of retirees through the race, which was Matt Farrow, Ricardo Ozoko, and Riley Preston retiring from the lead.
Right, well, I've got hold of the points as well, so let's just see. So Marty Patella, 267, so not quite as high as we wanted. Diego Oliveira, 250. That might well be enough to see him take the overall championship, but like I say, sorry, Diego, this is Class A series and you're pro, get out. Giuseppe Ragusa, 233. Now, where was Ragusa at the start of this race? He was 1,615. Let me move screens over both of these at the same time. Yatsenko got 216. That's only sort of 15 points difference. That's not going to be enough for Ragusa to jump up. Ficara, obviously, we know didn't have a great race. Tell you what, I think Yatsenko's got this. I don't think anyone's done it. That no-stop strategy. He was struggling a little bit on pace, but he's made it work. Got himself fourth place in the end there, 216 points. I think he's going to hold on to this championship.
Yeah, it was a lot riding on this race today, and everybody that was doing the chasing managed to quite not get it right.
Yeah, and he's just done exactly what he needed to do. And do you know what? That's what Yatsenko's done all season long as well. He's done, he hasn't been the quickest in every race we've seen. He's had good, solid, consistent results every time. He's won nine races. We're not going to take anything away from him. 10 pole positions as well. So picked up points where he needed to. 28 top fives. That's where his championship was made. 28 top, that's consistency, good strong finishes, so done an absolutely amazing job. It's a shame we can't get him in for a little interview actually, but
Certain iRacing standings has just gone completely upside down for me.
Of course, because they're showing probably 9 races counted and all sorts.
I've got some people showing us 7 weeks counted, Yatsenko included. Well, at least we know Ficara, I think he stays on 6,645. Venting looks like he has. How many points did he start the race with?
It's in the position, right at the moment, it's transitioning, isn't it? Let's just give it a minute or two. I tell you what, we'll go to a quick commercial break, we'll come back, and hopefully we'll have the updated the points for you as well. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson, Conrad Venter for, well, what is now a post-race show. Following the final round of the iRacing Grand Prix Series, we are frantically hitting the F5 button. Come on, refresh, damn it. We want to see who's won this championship. It's close right now. Points are being dropped and calculated and things like that. Yatsenko showing us 7 rounds counted. So's Oliveira. They have switched points with that, so that could change. Zaitsev's improved. So has Yonage. So we know Ragusa's improved his points. He's showing us 1691. So I tell you what, it's all changed. We've got no idea who's won this at all. We just got a little replay going on of the race in the background just while we're hitting refresh. I have to say, they've done a great job on Montreal. All the surrounding area looks so good here. I haven't got my settings turned up to maximum by any means, but yeah, they do look good. It does look good, apart from the odd flicker, which is actually just down to the bias, I think it is on the camera pack. Nothing to do with the sim. I need to sort that out.
It's sometimes amazing to see how much detail iRacing puts into these tracks, trees on the inside of the circuit that you will never see from the inside of a car. Is there, it's scanned, it's detailed. It's amazing stuff.
Right, still has not updated. Come on, let's have it. Well, looking back at the season, then Conrad, rather than us just sitting here refreshing, what was your race of the season?
Oh, it's a tight call. Silverstone was good with Riley Preston grabbing the win around the last corner, but yeah. I think it's got to be Road America for me.
Yeah, I think Road America as well. Fantastic race. If you haven't seen that, then take a quick look on the channel as well. If you enjoyed today's race, you thought it was thoroughly exciting, well, that one was on a whole nother level. What a great race as well. Similar drivers involved in that one as well, and that came down to 3 corners to go, was it? That was a brilliant race. So and that was for the win as well, wasn't it? Not like a 3rd or a 4th. They were fighting out all the way to the end there. So
yeah, I think we were sitting with Andrew Woodhouse in that one, and we were looking at how much it was Daniel Vincing involved in that one as well. He had to catch the front runners by in order to win the race, and he got there with 3 corners to go, and a mistake from the guy in first place, mistake from him, and that was that. But it was a very exciting chase.
Right, just refreshing my table now. We're hearing they might be done. Come on, let's have it. Still seeing the old one. No, still not showing right for me. Still only 7 races counting for some drivers, so not quite sure what's going on there. Yeah, like you say, Silverstone was a worthy second. Never have we had to eat some humble pie, or myself specifically. They have, give Riley a right grilling for his strategy call, and then he went and won the race anyway on the last quarter of the last lap. So, but yeah, impressive.
Yeah, I think we managed to order a whole bakery full of pie in that one.
Oh, just hearing from Zoran as well. He hit 5k iRating on the very final race of the season, so congratulations to him. So I remember when I hit 5k the first time. I was like, yes. So yeah, some achievement.
I remember when I hit 3k. That was a joyous moment. I will never see 4k.
A question being asked right now is, what does the winner get when they win this championship? The truth is, it's just a big fat naff all, really, isn't it? Pride, achievement. They get a certificate, don't they? Actually, that's about it. So
I'm not sure there's a whole lot of advantages in winning this series. Of course, we've got the Road to Pro Series in season 4. and all you've really done now is put a big bullseye on your back.
Yeah, absolutely. It used to be that, yeah, exactly that. You used to get a pro license, which meant you can drive in the World Championship, which happens every other weekend. So if you haven't seen them, head on over to iRacing YouTube channel and check those out. So we just had the one here at Montreal as well. Thoroughly enjoyable race meeting. But yeah, so that's really what you're looking to do. Like the top 10 places used to get you a pro license, but yeah, sadly they've done away with that, and it really has just taken that little what you're racing for out there. It's it's personal pride really, and like I say, as Scotty mentioned, yeah, bragging rights really. Right, I'm gonna hit refresh again. Come on, let's have you.
I think one of the big advantages of finishing well in the Grand Prix series is it gives teams out there an opportunity to look at some of the newer talent coming through, and if you can pick up someone, recruit them into a team that's not already part of one, then the series has done its job, and then you get one of those drivers into one of the big teams where they've got the support in order to help them to get into the Pro Series.
Yeah, exactly, and I think what we see is the drivers that are trying to to win this championship and sort of say, look, here I am and stuff like that. You're right. The big teams do keep an eye out, and we'll try and draft some of these in to help them out, see if they can get to the pro and into the world championship and get them on board. So,
right, I think it's updated for me.
Take it away then. It's not updated for me, so yeah, read them out. Who has got it?
Right, as of now, Diogo Oliveira is sitting in first place on 1,757 points. Got Slavia Yatsenko in second place on 1,701, with Giuseppe Ragusa on 1,691. Ficarra, I don't think, has picked up any extra points. He's in fourth place, with Daniel Vensing in fifth. Still on 1,641 points. Fabrizio Gobbi in sixth place with 1,562, and then we've got Vasily Zaitsev in seventh with 1,452. Zaitsev on 1,472. Zoran Janic in eighth on 1,452. Sabatov and David Martinez rounding out the top 10. But Oliveira and Yatsenko, they've definitely gained from this race.
Yeah, so Oliveira takes the overall championship, but once again, he is a qualified pro driver, and this is the Class A series. So, yeah, well done, Diego. But yeah, all the shout and all the credit's got to go to Slavan Yatsenko for winning the Class A championship. That's where it all counts. 1,701 points. Just takes it by 10 points in the end from Giuseppe Ragusa. So Ragusa jumps up into second place following that race. So awesome performance from him. Ficarra and Wentsin, they had the potential, I think, in this race. They were there. They had the opportunity to win this one and take this championship. But yeah, both of them just had their issues today. And it just didn't happen. But nonetheless, third and fourth in the championship and fifth for Fabrizio Gobbi. Great drive from all of those guys. They've been very entertaining to watch all season long. But yeah, Slavan Yatsenko, all the credit where it is due. Awesome performance all season long. So 29 top fives from 32 starts, 9 wins, 10 pole position. Average start position was fourth. Average finish position was fourth. He's led 313 laps. 182 instance, not too bad at all. Not too shabby season, I have to say, Conrad.
I mean, there's that one stat that just sort of sums up the season for him. I think 29 top fives out of 32 starts. That shows an amazing level of consistency on his behalf.
Right, fellas, thank you very much for sticking around. Still a few people tuned into that, waiting just to hear what happened, who finally got it, and it is indeed Slava that got it, so congrats to him. Congrats to everybody who took part. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Conrad, thank you again for a whole season joining me in the booth once again.
It was a great season. It was good fun. Hopefully we can do it again next one.
Yeah, well, we said that as well. I was just about to say, we've said that we're going to do season 3 as well. We're not sure what's going to go on in season 4, whether it be in pro qualifier and things like that. We might step away and let another channel do the Pro Series one. It really depends what iRacing asks us to do, or don't do. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Don't forget later on tonight here on Apex Racing TV, we've got the Kia Club Series charity race. Please tune in that. Myself and Adam Bath in the booth for that one. Whole load of stuff going on there, but yeah, all for a good cause. And it's for the Samaritans, I believe. So yeah, just tune into that. I think that starts at about 8 o'clock UK time. So what, 7 GMT if you want to convert it somewhere. So, but yeah, thank you, Conrad, once again. Thank you everybody tuning in. Alex Simpson, and been a really exciting season. I'm looking forward to seeing what season 3 does. And yeah, where we go. First race up is in 2 weeks' time, and that is at Imola. So join us for that one.